Hello, Colts Nation. Welcome back to an episode of the No Horsing Around podcast. As always, I am one of two dudes talking Colts. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Burton. And on today's episode, it's Buffalo Bills week. It's the Colts versus the Bills preview episode. Going to keep it kind of different this time, short, sweet, kind of like we did the Titans a few weeks back. Had a couple of things. Zach's dealing with a couple of little things. I've had to deal with a couple of little things. So still want to get the information out there. Still want to talk about this. As always, you guys, we ask you guys to please like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you're feeling about the game. Let me know when we get to it, your predictions, your keys, your players. I love hearing all of it. We always try to respond as always. We always try to talk with you guys. We love you guys. We love the viewers, the subscribers, everybody. So let's kind of get into this, you guys. Colts versus Bills. Big game. Big game. You know, the Colts are sitting. They've climbed their way. For those of you who have watched the Hard Knocks, you've heard it, the climb. They've climbed, they've scratched, they've clawed their way back up to 500. 5-5, you guys. 5-5, you know, and they're going up against a really dynamic Bills team. Granted, they are 6-3. Yes, you know, they've lost to the Titans, who hasn't this year, apparently. They've lost to the Jags, who has. But you're talking about a really solid team all around. I was able to talk with Mad Men Sports, which is a Buffalo Bills podcast, and get some information from them. And we had planned to have them on. Things came up for me. We were unable to do that, but they did send me some really cool tidbits that I'm going to touch on during the show today and kind of give you guys some of their thoughts that they gave us that they were going to present during the show. So kind of excited to see that too. Let's go kind of right into it a little bit with it. You know, let's players to watch in the game. When you're looking at the Bills side of the ball, it begins for me. Let's go offense then defense. Okay, so when it comes obviously on offense, you have MVP, probably the leading MVP candidate, in Josh Allen. All Josh Allen has done is throw for 2,600 yards and 19 touchdowns, 6 picks. He's also their second leading rusher with 332 yards and three touchdowns. Yes. So, I mean, he's Mr. All Around. Knock on him has always been his accuracy. That was a knock when he was coming out of school. That was a knock when he got there in the first year. And then Brian Daboll kind of jumped in there and just took over, developing him. And he's been amazing the last couple of years. Been a little bit off. And then what did the Bills do last year? They double down with him. They go get him, Stefon Diggs, who just, I mean, is 750 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns this year. Just, he's a player you're going to watch, especially if you're looking at the Colts' defensive side of the ball. The weakness that we always talk about is the secondary. Rock Ya-Sin has looked way better. Xavier Rhodes has not looked nearly the same. You're down Julian Blackmon. You're down Khari Willis. You know, it's tough. It's tough, especially when you have those dynamic athletes on their outside with Stefon Diggs, Cole Beasley. You also have Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, they're very deep. And contrary to what a lot of people are going to think, they love to throw the ball. They love to throw the ball around. You guys who have listened to No Horsing and watched it long enough can remember when it was called A Different Show last year, and I previewed the very same Bills team for the playoff game. And what I had to say at that time was the same thing. They love to throw the ball, which is just kind of crazy when you think about the fact that you would think that they enjoy that with the weather being what it is in Buffalo, that they would want to run the ball and take the air out of the game, but they do not. They want to pound the ball. Now, some of the interesting things that they had to let me know when it comes to players, and this is I want to make sure that I give them credit. This is Zach and Jack over at Madman Sports who sent me some of this information. just some good news to note for them is that their best run stopping D tackle is out with COVID. Their difference making right tackle is also out due to COVID. They wanted to make a point that's really going to possibly affect Josh Allen. That's the same. They're going to be looking at the same O line that played against the Jaguars, that struggled against the Jaguars. The one thing is that when you flip it around to our defensive side of the ball, our blitz just doesn't get home quite yet. Quiddy's looking well. Dio's looking better. DeForest is there. Kamoko needs to come on a little bit more. Ben Banago, I don't know where he went. To quote my boy Zach, Ben Banahu, apparently at this point. But going back to their offensive side of the ball, they're missing a couple of key pieces on the O line. That could be helpful for us. Like I said, as far as our defense going against their offense, I think the run game, we're going to be able to hold steady like we always have been. We've got a very solid run game. As of the recording of this, everybody who set out on Wednesday practiced. For those who watched Hard Knocks 2, you also know that Darius Leonard's really hampered his ankle. DeForest was out with a tight back. You got all these different things, but they all practiced today. So the defense is a little banged up, and you're going against, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but at one point was the number one offense and the number one defense in the NFL. So they've got to step up. So you're focusing on the defensive side of the ball for the Colts. You're focusing on Rocky Singh, Kenny Moore, Isaiah Rodgers. I think they need to play really well. I also think you're going to need a good day from Dio, DeForest, and you're going to need something from Quiddy. You're going to need Quiddy and Kamoko. You're going to need someone coming off the edge. You guys know I'm a fan of Kamoko, but he's got to show up. Flipping it around on the other side of the ball, you look at their defense against our offense. They wanted me to point out one of the things that they mentioned was Edmonds probably won't play, but Klein is better versus the run, might be effective to throw to the running backs out of the backfield because of that. We all know that's a huge strength. This is going to be the Colts have found their formula. Okay. Run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. The great stat that got put out this week is the Colts are 9-0 when Jonathan Taylor rushes for 100 yards or more. So pound the ball, especially if Edmonds isn't going to play. That's going to be really good. Pound it, play action. You know the formula. I mean, for the Colts offense, it's the same every week. For me, it's almost going to be the same three people. Carson's always a key. Carson's got to make good decisions with the ball. He's got to make good checks at the line. He's got to be kind of the general on offense. Jonathan Taylor's a key. You've got to feed him. Just get him the ball. Get him the ball some way, shape, form. Toss it to him. Hand it to him. Pitch it to him. Get him the ball because he's a difference maker. Michael Pittman Jr. is another one that I do like. They point out in here too, talking about their safeties. They are probably the best safety duo, so that's going to be interesting to see. I could see a big game from Mo Alley Cox. He's due for one. He's a mismatch nightmare. I could see that happening. But in the beginning, middle, and it depends on Carson and JT. Those are the two biggest ones. Kind of briefly, some keys to a victory for you guys. Keys to a victory. Colts need to contain Josh Allen. I say contain. Last year in the playoffs, they were unable. When he broke containment and he would get on the outsides, that's when he made his plays. That's when we all looked at it and go, wow, we don't have a quarterback who can do that. We don't have a quarterback who can extend the plays. That's what Josh Allen does. You have to contain him, contain his ability to extend plays, because the longer your secondary is trying to man up with a Diggs, a Sanders, a Beasley, it's not going to work. It's not going to end well. Okay. The other part too is when you hit him, you have to put him down. So if Dio gets to him, or Buckner or Leonard or Kenny Moore, whoever's coming, if you hit him, finish it. Finish the play and put him on his back and get the sack. That's the key for the defense. It begins and ends with Josh Allen. Contain Josh Allen. Okay. Offense, run. Run the ball with Jonathan Taylor. Feed him the ball whichever way you can, and then work off of it with the play action. That's going to be the key. That's going to be how you're going to shorten the possessions, shorten the game, and keep Josh Allen off the field, which is what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to limit his number of possessions, I believe. So those are the keys. Those are the biggest areas of need when it comes to this. Predictions, you guys. So I sat here and I talked with a couple of different people before about the fact that I never predict the Colts to lose. I've not done it once this year. I'm struggling with this one. So I think over the next two games, you got the Bills and the Bucks. I think the Colts probably actually match up better against the Bucks than the Bills. I am gonna pick. I can't do it. I can't do it. 28-21 Colts. I'm picking the Colts to win the game. 28-21. I got to do it. I got to pick my team. So I want to hear, as my boy Zach always says, get the healthy convo going. Tell me your players to watch. Tell me your keys. Give me your predictions. All that good stuff. Let me know what you think. Okay. As always, please like, share, subscribe, comment, do all those things. We're going to give you guys more information when it comes to the holidays and what we're looking to do in regards to the donations to give to families. I end it the same way I always do. You guys know I love you. Even though he's not here, Zach loves you. We're out.